What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have some exciting news. We have more than 2,000 subscribers, and I want to thank you for that. So go ahead and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Today we're going to be talking about our $8,000 portfolio, which is helping us to save for a car. Stay tuned to see what we have invested in that portfolio. Let's get into our video. We're going to be talking about or looking at our portfolio. So on the side here, I'm going to be sharing the portfolio, giving you kind of an in-depth look at what I'm buying, what I've sold, and our growth throughout this whole process. So let's get into it. I'm going to move rather quick because we do have a lot of stocks that we've bought. Remember, we have stocks, ETFs, REITs, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just stocks that I picked. Now, typically I pick ETFs, index funds, mutual funds, but for this portfolio, there are a lot of individual stocks. I don't recommend those all the time, but I wanted to do that for this portfolio so that I can kind of share some things with you about different companies as I do my own research. So if you take a look, our 1 week, we're up 3.66%. In the last month, we are down 2.5%. The portfolio has struggled over the last month. Over the last 3 months, it's up 2.24%. Over the last year, it is up 33% or almost 34%. And for the all-time, it's up 31%, which isn't bad because otherwise I just have this cash sitting. So we have made almost $2,000 in this account. Now that is pre-tax, so when I do sell these stocks, I will get taxed, and it'll depend on how long I've held them. If I hold them for more than a year, then the taxes are going to be much less. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, but it is important to hold stocks for more than a year to get that tax break. Let's start by taking a look at what we have first. VTI, one share, and like I talk about this ETF a lot. This is the total stock market ETF. It has a very low expense ratio. It's really a great stock to own for the beginning investor, and it's the entire stock market in the United States. So there's a ton of stocks that it covers, and we have an average cost of $160. So what that means, just so you know, for the rest of the portfolio that you're going to see, that means that we paid $160.78, but it is worth the market value, as you see, $217.10, and you can see our total return of $56 or a 35% return, which is rather nice because we haven't owned this one for super long, but I definitely like this one, which is why I'm highlighting it for the longest time. SPHD, another great stock to own for, this is also an ETF, great stock though to own for the beginning investor because it does offer a nice dividend. It's actually a monthly dividend. It's not very volatile, as the name shows. It doesn't change in price, although this took a big hit during the beginning of the pandemic, but it has come back very nicely. And I actually would be looking for this to dip, and maybe I'd add more. We have 4 shares of this with an average cost of $36.39, and our total return is $34 with a 23% or so. Moving on to TPHD, very similar. I just wanted to kind of add this to the portfolio. It's very much like the other one. I do like the Timothy high dividend stock. I like this ETF. I'll go into further detail about this one in another video. You may find some interest in what this actually is tracking, but we're up $8 or 36%. And I'm going to go really quickly now. VYM, another Vanguard high dividend yield ETF. This one has done really nicely. We are up $23 or 27%. Berkshire Hathaway, great company. I talk about this stock a lot on the channel. Bought it at $208 and it is now worth $287. And we have a nice return of 37%, as you can see. Moving ahead, we have Apple. We have 4 shares of Apple. And I was able to get this at a very cheap price. This is when it took a dip a couple, I don't even know how long ago this was. I could look at that up, but we're gonna keep moving. We are up $250 on those 4 shares with a 97% return, which I'm pretty proud of. That makes up 7% of the portfolio. Moving ahead to Uber. I'm sure you probably have heard of Uber if you've used Uber. And it is up 76% or $44. We only own 2 shares of that. Wish I would have bought more. Square, this is probably one of the better performing stocks. A lot of these have done really well so far. I am going to get into a couple stocks that have not done so well, as you'll see very soon. And we're up 250% on this, or $310, just on 2 shares. So we didn't even buy much of it, but it has done extremely well. JD, this is my favorite stock from the past. I owned a ton of shares of this. I sold out way too early. This one actually has taken a dive in the last month or so. It's down almost 4%, 24% over the last 3 months. So it might be a good buying opportunity. But we are up 125% on this, or $81. Like I said, I had a ton of shares of this, and I made a little bit on it, and I sold it way too early. AMD, this was the first stock that got me on Robinhood. I was actually riding in an Uber, and the kid who was driving me around told me about Robinhood, and he had put a lot of money into this stock, so I decided to buy a couple shares, and you can see it has done extremely well. Once again, I had more shares, and I sold out. So we are up 602%, or $133.74. ELY, which is Callaway, 1 share, we're up $20, 133%. PFE, or Pfizer, I'm sure you've heard a lot about them in the news recently, and they are up 13%. This is a nice dividend stock. When that gets over $40, I'm probably going to sell that and wait for it to dip again and maybe rebuy it. Starbucks, love Starbucks. Always love to support the companies that we end up going to a lot. And you can see the average cost of $74.70 with a 50% return that you see. HDB, this is an Indian bank. A friend of mine pointed me to this company, and so I did some research and got in at a pretty good buying point, at $50.47. It is up $90. As you can see, we have 4 shares of HDB. RVLV, this is an influencer company, so people that you see on Instagram or those types of things, when they are marketing certain companies, they might use Revolve Group, and this one has done amazing. Once again, didn't buy enough, have 5 shares, it's up 222%. Continuing, APLE, this is a REIT, one of my favorites as well, as in the REIT area. It does pay a monthly dividend. The dividend just came back. It's not very much. It used to be a 10-cent dividend. Now it's a penny dividend, but that's every month. So it does add up, and we are doing pretty nicely. It's up 18%. Good, another REIT. It is up 16%, and you can see this one also pays a monthly dividend, which is nice. So I'm getting paid each month, not just quarterly. Glad, another REIT, and this one is up 28%. We're going to move through very quickly. Continuing, MRO, Marathon Oil, it is up 62%, or $67, those 15 shares. When that gets up over the 12 range, I will probably end up selling a few shares of it. MPLX, another energy company, this one has done pretty well. It's up 29%. So as you can hear me talk, I kind of want to just make sure I'm taking some of those profits, especially as I'm saving for a car in this account. I don't normally do that. I'm a long-term holder, but I wanted to do that for this account. Siri, as you take a look, Siri is doing, this was a stock, this was a stock that I got when someone signed up. When someone signed up, that was a great thing for me because I was able to earn a little money for it. And so that was a free stock that I got. So if you want to do that, there's a link in the description. Go ahead and do that. We have American Airlines. I bought this at $11, and it is up $12 to 108%. Wish I would have bought more. JP Morgan, bought 1 share of this. It's up, I bought it just under $100, and it is up 62%, almost $62. So that one has done really nicely. JP Morgan, you can see, I just did JP Morgan. Let's go to Boeing. Boeing, we bought this at $173 a share, and this one has done really nicely. It took a big dip with everything going on with coronavirus. They also had some trouble with their engine, or one of the airplanes wasn't working well. I don't even know the details. Walmart is up 7%. This might actually still be at a decent buying opportunity. It did take a dip as well. So I decided to buy 2 shares, and it's back up $10 a piece. So we have almost a $20 gain in Walmart. Target, just great numbers, $150 per share, and it's now worth $225. It's up 49%. Microsoft, have 2 shares with a nice little gain there of 15%. Look for that to continue to grow. Bank of America, we have 1 share, and it is up $18 or 75%. So that's doing pretty nicely. A lot of these are. Now we're getting close to where we're going to start to look at some of the stocks that haven't done so well that are in the portfolio. AT&T, probably going to sell this pretty soon unless it drops below $27. Then I'll buy some more of it. But if it's going to go up above $30, then I may look to sell that. Workhorse, this is the stunk that this is the worst of the worst in the portfolio. Bought the 1 share, just, I'll just go ahead and say, yeah, it was a gamble. It wasn't a smart investment because they were trying to get the contract with the Postal Service, and that didn't work out the way that they expected it. So, yeah, it has struggled. It is down 56%. I'm just going to hold on to it. You never know what could happen. At this point, I'm down big time. It doesn't hurt me. It's $10. But anyway, just wanted to kind of highlight that stock. Intel, we are doing okay with this one. It bought it at $45. It is now up 26%. Dropbox, bought this at $20. It's up 32%. Jets, this is it's an airline ETF. So with coronavirus coming and things starting to open up again, I look for this stock to continue to climb as airlines start to do better. That one's up 18%. Airbnb, I bought this and then it just tanked after earnings. I am looking to buy another share or 2. Hopefully, if you saw, I had a little cash in the portfolio, so I'll probably will buy another share or 2, especially if this stays in the $130 range per share. ICLN, this one also, I was buying shares of it in hopes of the new administration and different clean energy things. I still think this is going to be fine. It's down in the short term, but remember, I am a long-term investor. Obviously, in this portfolio, though, I need to start to do a little better if we're looking to get that car fund off and rolling. And Switch, if you take a look, Switch is up 20% or $16. Procter & Gamble, I'm sure you've used their products. This one's up 7.5%. ChargePoint, we are up a little bit. They just had a big contract. You may start to see different, I don't know if it's going to go by ChargePoint, but you may start to see some of their charging stations across the country for EV cars. ARQ, now we're getting into a couple of the ARK funds that I have recently invested in. I'm going to continue to because I do believe in these funds, and I actually have some of these in my Roth IRA. But we are going to continue to average down a little bit as long as it stays under $80. And you can see it's down 4.41%. That was the EV. ARK-F is the FinTech innovation. This one is also down a little bit, 6%. So we'll be looking to add to that position. ARK-K is also down 6%. And ARK-X, the most recent one, space exploration, it's just down 1%. So if that drops under 20, I may look to buy a couple shares. So that was the portfolio. I know that was really, I went through it very fast. If you have any comments or you have anything you wanted to ask me about the portfolio, go ahead and do that. Remember, you can always click on the link that I have in the description and sign up for a Robinhood account, because maybe you might be interested in investing for something you're saving for. And you can do this, rather safely. You can put it in funds that, are much, different ETFs, or you can get the entire index. As I always say, I don't have my entire portfolio into Robinhood. I do have some of the money invested, or not invested, just in cash, because I didn't want to go fully. So we do have more than $10,000 saved towards our car. But this is kind of the portfolio for what I'm using in regards to the investment part of the portfolio. If you found value in this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That does help me out. That helps the channel out big time. And remember, it's that simple.